Welcome to 5 Stars. It's Burgin's 5 Stars. I think we almost should add a segment of Burgin's 5-star picks of the week. I know you get our picks during a thing, but the way these things are rolling, Gators winning it all, I'm winning the bracket, everything's turning up 5 stars. So in honor of a couple things we talked about earlier, I'm going to do 2 5-star segments today. One, we talked about Gino Auriemma and one of the greatest coaches of all times. 5 stars, Burgin. Who are the top 5 college coaches of all time? And we'll start with number 5, Coach K. Coach K at Duke, 5 national titles and 2 gold medals. I think to me, he has been one of the best coaches of all time. The consistency, staying at one program and doing it like he has at Duke was incredible. And they actually probably had, a lot more on the table they could. I think he could have been and chased John Wooden's record if they could have finished a couple more times in the Final Four. Just like this year, they came up short again this year. Duke's been there more times than anybody in the Final Four, yet, they've only won it 5 times, which is still incredible. But that's why I got him at 5 on my list, because only the 5 championships. But he had the 2 golds as well. 4 is Gino. I've bumped Gino over Coach K at this point. The guy has 12 national championships and 3 gold medals, and he continues to do it. When Coach K's retired, Gino's 71, still knocking it down. There's nothing but impressive of what Gino has done at UConn. Again, somebody who stayed at the same place his whole career. It's just impressive. And Gino, I don't know how long he's going to do it for. I don't know what else he has to prove. He's number 1 in wins, number 1 in titles. He's number 1 in pretty much everything. And so that to me, I think is just so impressive. And shout out to Gino for another national championship. And I will say, going back to Coach K, 13 Final Fours and 5 national championships. There was a lot more on the table for him to get up in this list. Number 3 is Bear Bryant. Bear was always, to me, the greatest coach of all time until a few others, until Saban at least passed him in the football realm. I think John Wooden was the only guy that I think would compare to Bear in dominance. And I had John always over Bear because of more national championships, even though I think football is a tougher sport to win in. I think you can have 1 or 2 really good basketball players. You have to have a complete team in football. But I got Barrett number 3 on my list with 6 national championships. John Wooden's number 2 on my list. 10 national championships. He won 7 in a row at one point. 7 national championships in a row at UCLA. 10 total. The Wizard of Westwood. John is the epitome of coaching and what he did in life with these players. If you haven't watched the documentary on UCLA basketball, it's one of the best I've ever seen. But just seeing his philosophies, how he taught the kids more, about basketball and life and everything in general. John Wooden's number 2, and number 1 is Nick Saban. I don't think because he doesn't have as many as John, he doesn't have many as Gino, but the time Saban did it in with the competitive of college football and so much that had changed with recruiting and the portal and so much of online and everything, television, all these things that weigh into it now, social media as well. For Saban to do what he did at Alabama and win 6 national championships, and they were runner-up another 3 times. So to what he's done at Alabama, it's absolutely incredible. And that's why I think just the timing of everything and what all has gone down in the years he's coaching, and obviously having the one at LSU, I have Saban number 1, and it's not just because I'm Alabama biased. I truly think that Saban is the GOAT in college sports. All right, next one. Because the Gators winning the national championship, so much just came up to me about what would you rather have? 3 national championships in football, 3 national championships in basketball, 2 in basketball, 1 in football. And it got me thinking, we know Florida is the everything school. We know they win in track and field and tennis and golf like we talked about earlier. But who truly is, by the numbers, the greatest school in our era? So I'm talking since 1990. Me and Chance both born in 87, so since 1990. So we're going to start up with a tie. And it's a tie because they've only won in one sport, is Duke and UConn. Duke has won 5, UConn has won 6 basketball national championships since 1990. They haven't really been relevant in any other sport besides that. So Duke and UConn both haven't made a playoff in football. They haven't done anything. In baseball, UConn I think had a run in baseball at one point, and Duke's been okay, but nowhere near getting close to the ultimate prize. So that's why I have them splitting the 5 spot. Number 4 is North Carolina. North Carolina has won 4 basketball national champions, Chance, UNC guy besides Auburn, and they've had 2 runner-up in baseballs. So they've at least done something. Football, I feel like, they've had a couple shots to win some ACC championships, but they've never made a playoff in football. I think they've made the conference championships a couple times since 1990. but they're going to be number 4 on my list because they've done it in 2 sports. Number 3 is Alabama. 7 football national championships since 1990. 0 in basketball, 0 in baseball. I don't think they've made a baseball World Series since like 96 or 2006, and they haven't made they've only made 1 Final Four. So again, they're getting close. I look for Bama to maybe make a World Series this year in baseball, but yes, just dominant in one sport. It seems like there's a lot of that. And the top 2 spots could go either way. I'm giving Florida the top spot. I'm not going to jump to number 1 yet, but I'm giving it because they've done it in all 3. But number 2 is LSU. LSU has won 7 baseball national championships since 1990. 7. And they've won 3 football. So that's 10 total. Basketball, they've made 1 Final Four. But to me, 7 national championships in one sport since 1990, that's incredible. Yeah. Same as Bama in football, except, they were able to do it 3 times in football and 7 in baseball. And then number 1's got to be the Gators. 1 in baseball, 3 in football, 3 in basketball. They got 2 runner-ups in baseball as well. They got 1 more runner-up in football and 1 more runner-up in basketball. So they've been to and won a lot of championships. But I know for some of our viewers out there thinking about some of these other big schools we didn't name, I looked into them. And here's what I found out. And Chance, you may is there anybody else I'm thinking of? But Miami's won 2 in baseball and 2 in football since 1990. USC has won 1 in baseball and 2 in football. Auburn, 1 in football. FSU has won 3 in football and they've had 1 runner-up in baseball. So to me, there's nobody else really even knocking on the door. It's really the teams that dominate one sport like Duke and UConn and Alabama in football, and really Florida and LSU, and that's it. Ohio State, Michigan. Some of these schools you would think would have multiple titles. They don't. Is there anybody surprising that you would think would be on that list, Chance?
I was trying to think maybe Texas, but...
Yeah, Texas has 1 in baseball and 1 in football.
Yeah, so not many. So I don't know. I guess not.
You would think that's a good one, Texas. Yeah, like Texas would be on that list. But yeah, Florida's the only one with 3 since 1990, all 3 sports since 1990, and probably since 1960 or 70, since the only one that have 3. But they win it again in basketball, and again, like we talked about earlier, getting to the game is one thing, going and winning it is another. Coach K would probably be higher, and Duke would probably be higher if he'd won just 2 or 3 that they probably should have won. And again, most people are going to say they probably should have won it this year in basketball, but Gators win, Burgin won, 5-star, gotta love it. See you next week, Titan Tigers.